Hello friends, we are going to look at a video of a flight that I took from Miami International Airport, that is, going all the way north to BWI, Baltimore Washington International Airport. Right now I'm sitting in the plane. I have a window seat, of course, that's why I'm able to record this, and the plane is taxiing out of the boarding area and heading towards the runway. Now, if you've never been on a plane before, this part is usually very long and tedious. Boarding the plane takes quite a while. Sitting down takes a while. You have to wait, and then when you finally get to move, you feel kind of relieved about it all. And this is the moving part. Now, that does not necessarily mean that when you start to move, you move and you fly off. No, sometimes it so happens that, you know, the airport is busy, there's a lot of other planes taxiing, or there's some sort of trouble. And when that happens, what you have to do is end up waiting some more. So in part of this video, you're going to see me waiting a bit, and I'm going to speed up the video. I know I keep it raw and to give you an idea of how long that would take, but that in this particular flight it took exceptionally long, so I speeded up the video. Anyway, so as you can see, I am on a Southwest airplane, and this is possibly, I guess, part of the airport where a lot of these Southwest planes embark and disembark. So I mean, I'm not promoting Southwest or anything like that. They're not promoting my video either, but just to mention my own personal review, I rather like flying with them. The policy of come on early in order to get the right seat is kind of weird for me. I think they're the only airline that does that. Basically, you have to check in online right away or pay for an upgrade to get the kind of seat that you want, and even so, it's not a total guarantee that you get the exact seat you want, because it's really a who comes first gets served first kind of situation. At least with me, that was not an issue, because I like to be on time with things, and I got the seat that I want, which is right here. And as you can see from, if you saw my Trinidad to Miami flight, or rather the landing in Miami International flight, you'll see that I had the exact same position. So this is where I like to be, just behind the wing, where I could get a lot of footage and have the wing kind of dangle in the middle of the screen. So you can get an idea now how slow we are going, and I'm speeding it up here because you know, we are just all waiting, and sometimes that's how it is in a plane. You just wait and wait and wait. You know, the pilot tests his wings, things move by, and sometimes your mind begins to wander, and you think, well, what the heck is going on? Why aren't we moving? Like I explained earlier, sometimes it has to do with traffic, planes, something occurring. You know, just like you have a stoplight, red light, yellow light, or people on the roadway, you know, maybe the police is on the road and you have to stop in traffic and wait till they give the okay. Well, that's sort of how it is in airports. The command tower, air traffic control, they can tell the pilot when they can go and when they can't go. It's not up to the pilot to just decide he will go and take off. So as you can see, I speeded up the video and we're moving. The anticipation of liftoff is really exciting, at least it is for me. I don't know for you. A lot of people who don't like flying dread that feeling of going up. Now, if you've never been on a plane before, it's very similar to how it is when you're in an elevator, especially if the elevator tends to move fast. Some elevators move really slow and then others fast. Well, the feeling of going up a fast elevator, you know, where you know, you feel like things moving around your stomach as you go up. Well, that's how it feels in a plane, except that you're seated, and the force of gravity, the G-force, from the movement of the plane, kind of pulls you down and back into your seat. So that's the best way I could visualize it. For those of you who are frequent flyers and know what it's like, feel free to describe how flying is for you. Do you like the takeoff? Do you like the landing? I like both of them. I'm not too keen on the landing per se, except that I'm glad to reach finally, because usually it's pretty tedious to fly. It's not something I really look forward to because you know you have all the check-in, buying your tickets, getting to the airport on time, getting up early if it's an early flight, passing through security, waiting to board. You know, it's like a all-day process, and to me that's just stressful, especially if there are changes like flight delays or you measure your or weigh your bag and found it was just right, and when you reach the airport they tell you you're overweight and all these kinds of crazy things that happen that just stresses you out. But basically, other than that, flying can be pretty cool. You get to reflect a bit as you watch things go by, just like this. As the plane gets ready to go to whatever lane of the runway, you can see all the things in the background, Miami International, the planes that are there. You can actually look at this on Google Maps and it will show you what the layout of the airport is like. Actually, in looking at planes, I remember back in the day, very large airplanes was a big thing. I mean, I notice a lot of the planes are small. I don't know if it's an economics thing, but I remember planes being really big, and you'd watch you know just like how I'm watching out here or watching from the airport. You'd watch them and really try to compare which plane is bigger than the next. But now it seems like most of the planes are about the same size, at least from what I gather. I mean, of course, you'll have some bigger than others and others that are smaller, but in general, I'm just saying that I know a lot of planes are more or less the same size. I guess Boeing is getting all the contracts from everybody and this therefore creating all the planes. How is it for you and your observation about plane sizes? Let me know in the comments area, and please also let me know what you're commenting on. So as you can see, as we are moving here, it takes quite a while, right? We haven't even lifted it off yet. We haven't even gotten to where we need to go fast on the runway. So that's to tell you how much time is taking up on the ground. I mean, right into this video now, it's about 8 minutes, and that's 8 minutes with me speeding it up. So this is more like 20 minutes, and we haven't even gotten a chance to take off. Those white striped lines, that's kind of a hint of time to take off. And this part is very exhilarating, feeling the speed as the plane gains momentum and enough speed to take off. In case you're wondering, there is a point in time where you feel it lifting. The nose of the plane goes up like this, and this is the part where you feel that elevator ride. Now some pilots would turn almost immediately after lifting off, like this pilot did. I mean, we haven't hardly gotten up and they're already turning and changing their position in the air. And that's pretty helpful because it gives you a chance to see Miami. Now I can tell you in this plane ride that it wasn't all that great because as the closer we got to Baltimore, the more cloudy and rainy it got. And during this time, there was a lot of smog, fog, and mist from Canada. Canada is going through a lot of forest fires, and the smoke from that is blowing southward to the states and reaching as far as where we're going, Baltimore. So the closer we got to Baltimore, the more hazy it got. Look at this view. That's $1 million view there. All the tall buildings, all the infrastructure. Really nice to look at. Ever been to anywhere down there? Feel free to comment about it in the comments area. You know, it looks really nice now, but when tropical storms, hurricanes come in, nobody really wants to be around here because these are some of the first places hit. That's the only thing that would turn me off about living in Florida. I find that Florida, wow, it's right there in the hurricane belt. Very high percentage of each year, it being hit by some sort of tropical wave or hurricane or storm or something. And the few times I've been in Miami, I remember going into a hotel and we were high up and there was lightning constantly. I have never seen lightning so close to a building before. And it wasn't really raining a lot or anything, but there was a lot of lightning. I never saw anything like that. You can see the plane is turning northward. Basically what it does, or what the pilot is doing, is going out to sea, and then as it goes out to sea, it starts heading north. And if you look north, you'll see all that mist. That's to the top right, or the center right of your screen. It's not very clear. Now, I should say that around this time, it's maybe around 6 o'clock. Yeah, somewhere around there. 6 o'clock in the evening, that is. And for some of you that might be pretty bright. Well, in the States, the closer it gets to summertime, July and August, the brighter it gets. So the sun could actually stay out in the States as much as 8, 9 or even 10 o'clock in the evening. But by the time we reach to Baltimore, it gets dark, and not so dark that you can't see outside, but like I said, the weather impacted the way everything looked. So most of the journey was kind of like this, the way you see it now. At some point in the video, I will fade out to a scene where we're approaching Baltimore Washington International, because really there was not much to see. The pilot went into a lot of clouds, and we were far from the ocean. So you see, like right here, right now, this is how it looked for most of the journey, I would say. Well, I should say above the clouds. We can tell that we are descending, but most of the journey was like this. You just saw clouds, nothing else. So it made no sense for me to record all of that, except for maybe it being a meditative video, which is what this is not meant to be. The hum of the plane actually is something that a lot of people appreciate. It puts them to sleep. On this particular trip, I was on sort of a mission, so I could not sleep, did not feel to sleep, even though I had very little sleep actually. In fact, my whole time on this journey, I was operating on a little sleep and was quite energetic and moving, I guess because of the number of things I had to do, the importance of the things I had to do, and the fact that I was using fasting as a method to remain energetic. Now you might think that's kind of crazy, but if you're eating normal and then you fast, your body actually suddenly gets a huge amount of energy, because all that time it has been spent worrying about digesting food, it can now pay attention to detoxifying your body and thus giving you more energy. And that's what happens with me. Do you like to use fasting? Let me know in the comments area. But make sure you state what you're answering. Don't just say yes or whatever, because I wouldn't know what you're talking about. Now you can see how cloudy it is, and you can also see that on this particular window seat with that white background, you can see this window wasn't particularly clean. And some dirt on the outside or something. I don't know, I'm not sure what it is. And just now it's going to rain too, so as it rains, it also, I notice, affects the stabilization, because the raindrops kind of, you know, if you notice, I'm looking outside and the camera is able to focus on the outside and stabilize, but because it will see raindrops, it gets even more shaky, which is a bit interesting to note, especially those of you who like to use stabilization. So it's quite cloudy. The hum of the plane is going, and the anticipation of reaching your destination is always something that you look forward to. Sometimes in moments like this, it could be a time for reflection, you know, remembering the day, remembering your family, remembering things that you have to do, things that you want to accomplish, or simply just, you know, letting your mind free and wonder when you're in a situation where you really can't do much, like here. It's, you know, you could see it's sort of like a prison. You can't go left, you can't go right, you can't come out. You know, you're within the parameters of what the plane will allow you and your seat will allow you, as well as you're not in control. You're leaving your agency and your freedom and your life at the hands of somebody who is at the front of the plane, in this case the pilot. So it's a lot of things to consider on your mind as you think. What do you think about when you're flying? Feel free to comment in the comments area. So you can see the transition, white to the pale blue, all the mist, all the fog. At some point we will get low enough, I should say below the clouds, where you'll start to see Washington, Baltimore, and so forth. Maryland in general, I should say.
Cabin is secure.
On this particular Southwest flight, they gave a drink and a snack. I was flying economy. I'm not sure what the upgrade would have given, but I really, for me, flying right now is very expensive, and I just want to get there. I don't really care for any particular drink or food or anything, because, you know, I'm a vegan, plus I'm more on the health conscious side, so I know they won't really offer me anything that I would want to eat or drink anyway. So other than that, paying more really does not benefit me. Some will say it gives a little more leg room, but I don't know about that. The seats up ahead and the seats in the back look, at least visually, more or less the same to me. The thing I don't like about being in the front too, a lot of people tend to crowd because they want to get out of the plane very fast, and you know, and that's not really my interest. So as we drop below the clouds, you can start to see land below, and now would be like 8 o'clock or so, 8 at night, that is. Yeah, and like I said, you see how bright it is. That's because like I said, the sun shows longer at this time of year. Now, even so, this would have been even brighter if it wasn't so cloudy. And again, the mist, smoke from Canada, that's giving that blue tone in the background. For those of you who have been long fans of JB's Man Cave, you're probably wondering why I'm focusing on all these other videos other than what you may be accustomed to. And that's because, like I always say, JB's Man Cave is about a lot of things in travel and the world. It's not just one area or one region or one topic. It's kind of what JB does. So wherever I am or whatever I'm doing, I kind of focus on that. And I thank you for being here and for listening. I know your choices are many. So if you choose to spend your time with me on my channel, that says quite a lot. Thank you very much for that. How many of you have been to Maryland before? Let me know in the comments area. I know some of you on my channel already are Marylanders or passed through. And as such, I have been uploading a lot of videos, long videos, and some shorts on Maryland. I have to start covering the other states as well when I get a chance. Right now, in the creation of this video, I see I'm heading towards the creation of 2,000 videos. That's amazing even for me. Now from this view, it starts to get a bit hazy. It's not so great, the views. As light leaves, the camera loses its ability to focus and bring out that sharpness and brilliance that you would want to see. And again, the mist, and the clouds and all that. We're not done yet, but if you haven't subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. It's free to subscribe, by the way. It doesn't cost you anything at all. From above, you can always see the planning that, or lack thereof, of places. A lot of open land here, possibly farming, cultivation, swamps or lakes. It's hard to tell from here. Ideally, if it was up to me, I wish I could have some sort of suction mount that I could just stick to the window and have the camera steady, but I know that wouldn't be allowed. So I'm holding it, and well, I guess in holding it I could pan a bit left and right, but holding it isn't all that much fun. does get tedious after a while. But I know a lot of you would appreciate these views. And partially a lot of the reason I record a lot of these things is for my children to also see. They, they have not been on a plane before, at least some of them. So seeing this is very entertaining for them. They would like to know where daddy went, kind of thing. And so they get the whole visual here. I guess a hint of what it's like to be on a plane. And I don't show it to them privately. I mean the unedited version. They always go to YouTube to look at it. And while you might say, well, they could go to any old video and watch being on a plane, well, true, but none like how JB Man Cave does it, right? Showing you the raw footage like this. Plus, you're actually seeing where daddy went, kind of thing. Now, if those lights weren't shining up, there would be very little to pick up from here, given all that's happening outside. So tell me about what you would do on a plane normally. Is it that you would sleep, or make sure that you bring somebody so you all can talk? You bring something to read, use your laptop, your phone, whatever? Or do you like the in-house entertainment? Well, before this flight I was wondering what I would do with my time. Well, you can see what I did with my time, but I was also thinking, would I be interested in the entertainment and stuff? And I must be getting old because that didn't interest me at all. In flying, I was just using my camera to pick up this, stretch my legs a bit, and at some point I think I checked my phone or checked my laptop or whatever, but nothing else really, except for pondering and thinking. But how do you spend your time? I guess it really has to do a lot with what's your purpose of your travel too. If it's, I can imagine if this is like a vacation flight, then your mind will be free, or treat things all differently. You'll be more at ease, I guess. So probably in onboard entertainment would be a factor you'd be interested in. So you can see that we were turning right, and I say that right loosely in plain terms. Isn't necessarily a right and a left when you're flying. Everything is by degrees. But just now we are going to start descending even more. I mean, we're already descending, but I mean faster. And you can see some of the water going over the window, and it cleans it a bit. By the way, one of the things that I really liked about flying with Southwest, even though I didn't utilize it on this trip, is they allow you 2 bags for check-in. That's right. You don't have to pay any extra like other airlines. So they allow you 2 bags, and you can have your personal item and your carry-on on top of that. Isn't that really good? Not like anything else, there's pros and cons to anything, and I believe with Southwest, like I said, you have to. They don't give you any set seats. You have to kind of hurry and get your own when you're bored. And some people told me that they cancel flights a lot, but you know that any times that I have flew with them, I didn't get that. So I was really happy with my flight. So we're getting closer to Baltimore, Washington International. And funny enough, the actual name of the airport is Thurgood Marshall Airport. So it'll be BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport. But you know, that's very long, so people just say BWI for short. And as we pass over, you can see more lights, more things going on as we go in for a landing. To me, this is like the best part of any airplane trip. As you're coming in for landing, you get to see everything from above. In a way, of course, that you would never see from below. And I know there's the invention of drones and stuff now, but you know, drones a lot of times don't go as high as a plane does, and doesn't go as fast as a plane does, and doesn't cover as much as a plane does. So you know, the plane always will trump as far as views go into a landing over a drone. And everything is glossy because it's all wet, it's rainy down there. And we're about to land. Now, if you see me shaking a lot, it's because it was a kind of a rough landing, and even with stabilization and me trying to hold everything, you can see how I'm rocking back and forth. That's because in the landing, the plane shook a lot. That's the inside of the plane, and everybody was kind of relieved that that part was over. Now, in the old days, I remember on a certain airline, and a certain group of people would clap when this part happened. Didn't experience that here with these people. If you experienced that before, let me know in the comments area.
Carry-on items stowed where they're at until the aircraft has been parked at the gate and the captain does turn off the seatbelt sign. At that time, please use caution when opening overhead bins. Items may have shifted during flight and could fall out.
So usually after this part, now that you land, you taxi all the way to where you will disembark. And everybody at this point gets kind of antsy. They want to grab their carry-on, they want to grab everything quick and get ready to disembark before the plane has even stopped. But you know, it has been a few hours, so you know, people are more or less ready to go, which is only understandable.
been a pleasure spending part of our evening with you. We do know you have many choices when you fly. We thank you so much for choosing Southwest Airlines. Go have a great rest of your weekend. Be kind to one another. Come back and see us again soon. Welcome to Baltimore.
언니가 날 깨운 거야? 침에다 언니가 날 치는 거 보면
Next to me, I had a couple of Asian ladies. I don't know if they are students or, I mean, I don't want to just loosely say they were speaking Mandarin or Chinese, because I mean they could have been speaking Korean for all I know. I mean I'm not very familiar with Asian languages, but anyway they were speaking in their tongues very well, and it's only in interacting briefly with them I saw where they could speak English quite well as well. So if you hear them in the background, that's what was the case. On flights like this, you don't know who you'll be sitting next to, and I was just glad that in this flight, you know, I had nice people to sit next to. Sometimes I know it's not always the case. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I mean, it was not as exciting as a stunt episode or some crazy thing, but I just wanted to talk with you, get up to speed, find out more about you, you find out more about me, exchange things as friends. Just telling you about my trip from here, from Miami International all the way to Baltimore, Washington International. So I appreciate your time with me here today. Thanks so much for watching as you pull up here to disembark on this flight.